cozy Italian coffee havens for travelers. The adored coffee culture in Italy is built on a rich tradition, and it is an experience that is to be savored. Coffee in our country is served with style and pride. From picturesque piazzas to bustling city streets, cafes are a part of the Italian way of life. But the cafe is also where you can meet up with friends, take a break with a book, or simply watch the world go by. When people travel, they need coffee shops. They're a break from visiting sites and an opportunity to savor the flavor of local culture. They say you can learn a lot about a place by hanging out in its coffee shops. And that means spending time in a coffee shop in Italy could be one of the most genuine encounters you have with the place. The coffee shop you choose should have a friendly, comfortable feel to it. When you enter a coffee shop, you should be able to relax, whether that be alone or with a group. The first thing you notice is the atmosphere and feeling in the coffee shop. As you look around, you should see smiling faces and people who seem genuinely happy to be there. The seats should be well spaced, and the lighting should be warm and cozy. An unmistakable prime actor in the world of coffee shops, the Caffè Florian of Venice exhibits an almost poetic allure for guests seeking an ambience of history and distinction. Founded in 1720, it is one of the oldest in Europe and brims with the experience and affability proper to its fine tradition. By now an inexorable presence, florid and then some, it stretches the notion of elegance to angles medieval and modern, making it from any vantage a necessary and mirthful must-see. Caffè Florian is an incredibly luxurious, well-decorated space. Each room is designated with a particular theme, conservatively coordinated. As you ascend to the various levels of the cafe, a new room and experience is discovered. The interconnected rooms offer a total view, without a cohesive look being lost in the mix. The varying rooms work together in the same moment. In Venice's world-famous St. Mark's Square sits the enchanting and elegant Caffè Florian. Italy's worthiest rivals in promoting the international popularity of coffee are the centuries-old coffee houses. Caffè Florian is one such example, and its uniquely luxurious environment has long made it a favored gathering spot for the city's elite, as well as artists and intellectuals. Caffè Florian truly has an enchanting ambience. Each area of the cafe is designed with its own theme, which allows for a unique glimpse into both the artistic and historic sides of Venice. Ella and I can't help but think that certain spaces in the cafe might have been created with lovers in mind. Indeed, if any language unites the natural connections between the visual and the literary arts, it's Italian. The menu of Caffè Florian presents an exultant marriage of classic and up-to-date dishes. On the classic side, well-known coffee concoctions form the bedrock, and Caffè Florian is one with rich, creamy loam. When you do the Liguria walk, you also loll along with very nice Italian pastry and light, satisfying snacks. The current menu is full of passion and panache. Sant'Eustachio. Il Caffè distinguishes itself with a truly special roasting method. Their beans are roasted over an open wood fire, imparting a unique taste and aroma to the coffee they serve. This never-before-revealed blend is part of what makes Sant'Eustachio's coffee unlike anything else you'll find in Rome. But just as important, the baristas at this marvelous spot pull the best cups of coffee in town. Whether a simple espresso or a cappuccino to be reckoned with, these drinks raise the bar for how coffee should taste. Florence's Caffè Gilli has a long and storied history, having been a fixture in the city since 1733. When one enters the lovely space, lovely is the correct adjective, as the cafe's interior is bright and cheery, one can see all around the amazing amount of change that Gilli has seen and the amazing amount of history it carries. Caffè Gilli offers a thrilling fusion of necessary beverages and pastries. Skillful espressos and wondrous cappuccinos are some of the required assembled drinks. Each cup is an Italian masterpiece. The pastries, which include famous cannolis and delicate tarts, are the ideal accompaniment, shadow-bordered with the beverages, to produce an unforgettable double act on the taste buds. Caffè Pedrocchi in Padua, long a refuge for scholars and intellectuals, is renowned for its neoclassical designs, stunning artistic interiors, and exquisite cuisine. The grandeur of its architecture, its elegant ambience, and its historical charm make it a place exceptional for partaking in the rich cultural patrimony of Padua. Caffè Pedrocchi offers an array of drinks and local treats that are native to the Veneto and Friuli regions. You can sample traditional fares like the cappuccino viennois and the speculoos latte, while you admire the commanding presence of the cafe's distinguishing interior. Since its founding, the cafe has been dedicated to using the highest quality ingredients, a value that is maintained even today. That's why the cafe and the Pedrocchi family stand proudly at the pinnacle of the Longo Master to the memory of Padua's glorious past. In Milan, you can find an elite coffee experience at the Pasticceria Marchesi. Here, you might choose to relax in a comfortable chair near the grand Italian window that lets you sip your morning espresso while watching the people on the street below. You might chat with the barista, and you will most certainly lose yourself in the delicious aroma that fills the room. In Milan, Pasticceria Marchesi provides a coffee experience that is nothing short of pure luxury, a taste of the elegant past. The design in the space is careful, assured, but somehow also airy and effectual. It looks like a no-expense-spared respite for coffee lovers to sit down and get their fix in a comfortable, unhurried setting. Whether downstairs, where the presentation counter is, or upstairs, where Seawave-designed scaffolding desks are furnished with vinyl-clad upholstery and space dividers made of Mayer's lymphatic system in a surface layer of hydrogen graphite. Would you believe it if I told you that there is a place tucked away in Italy, a coffee shop, with a secret? In the space of a few moments, I will reveal what it is that makes this place truly special. The secret, of course, is not just in the coffee itself. It is also in the ambience, the history, and the recipe. This hidden gem is found in a very concealed part of town, sitting in a crevice of an alley, waiting to be discovered. Should you follow the path that leads you to it, you will find that it is definitely not the kind of coffee shop you would come across on a regular tour of Italy. Like what you see? Like and subscribe for more. Don't miss our next adventure. At Pasticceria Marchesi, the coffee menu offers the most original creations, and the coffee shop's pastries are to die for. They're also the perfect companions for cappuccino and caffè corretto. The eatery doesn't just serve superlative sweet things either. It has lovely savory sandwiches and creative salads too. Turin's Caffè Torino is a living monument to early 20th century design. It is an example of Art Nouveau influence and incredible Italian coffee culture, all wrapped up in a fantastic package. The interior of Caffè Torino gives off an alluring vibe, with each decoration telling a story of the glory days of the past. It is hard not to appreciate the sheer amount of history on display. At Caffè Torino, the preferred options among the public range from full-bodied espressos to creamy macchiatos. The cafe is known for its exquisite pastries that make the perfect partner to a good cup of coffee. Caffè Torino is a great place for coffee connoisseurs to revel in their love for the drink, but it's also a wonderful cafe for anyone, like myself, who just appreciates a really good cup of coffee. Their standards are high, and as one regular customer states, they have the elixir of the gods. In Turin, the Café Albischerin is a place where old, timeless traditions seem to exist. What could be more comforting than Turin's unique drink, the Bischerin? Picture this, a small, intimate, cozy place that's been around for what feels like forever, since 1763 to be exact. That's long enough to make the place a revered institution, especially as it's located on one of the old city's most picturesque and iconic streets. Naples' Gran Café Gambrinus is a celebrated cultural icon. It is known for its splendid architecture and amazing artwork. The cafe lies in the very heart of Naples, and even though you can't perform this sort of delicate operation for every cafe, we decided that this one deserved special attention. When it comes to the ambience and what they have to offer, these two coffee shops are very different. They're both very inviting, but in their separate ways. One is elegant and refined, and the other is more simple and authentic. But in the end, both are great places to spend a few minutes or an hour if you're just traveling through. Travelers to Italy definitely enjoy and benefit from the experience of going into a comfortable coffee shop. When you penetrate the front door, you are in a completely different dimension of Italian life. The scenes unfolding before you are the groundwork of much of Italian existence, and particularly in the lives of the artisan community. To dwell in a coffee shop for a bit is to commune with the deep essence of the boot. When touring Italy, you'll have to wander up and down side streets, ask around, or investigate local haunts or hole-in-the-wall establishments to find the best coffee, especially if you're away from the major tourist spots. The really good stuff is not likely to be found right in front of you. Paying attention to appearances and the way a place feels can often be as important as any advice you're likely to find. If you want to truly understand and savor Italian coffee culture, let yourself be enveloped by the local customs. Begin your day with a frothy cappuccino, but the real pivot comes later. Post-noon, the time espresso's robust, no-nonsense character takes over, and the next time you're in a coffee shop, take a moment to savor the atmosphere as well. The coffee and pastry combo becomes something special. For a morning jolt to start the day, have a flaky croissant or chocolate-filled cornetto with your cappuccino. Try biscotti with an afternoon espresso. See if you're not revived and energized by the synergy. And don't forget to sample some local specialties like cannoli in Sicily, cantuccini in Tuscany, and saffron orange brioche in Milan. The coffee shop scene changes with the seasons, and that only adds to its allure. The kinds of coffee of the hot variety that Italians love, espresso, macchiato, cappuccino, are served in the kinds of places where you'll also be served imaginative seasonal dishes. In the winter, this means a spot where you can sit by the fire with a good book and a hot cup of cappuccino. In the summer, a more likely time for an American tourist to visit a cafe, you're historically more often likely to get an iced cappuccino in a garden with live jazz and a lovely young woman in a summer dress. Italian daily life and social culture are heavily influenced by coffee shops. In these places, it seems like every single person always knows how to pull an exceptional shot of espresso day in and day out. The first place that will either teach you or help you understand what it's like to be in one of these places is called a bar. Just like everywhere else, in Italy, a bar operates as a place that sells primarily beer and cocktails, which you pay for as you drink them, just the opposite of a coffee shop. There are many advantages to going to local cafes instead of international chains. At the local cafes, you get a one-of-a-kind atmosphere, service that has a personal touch, and assorted flavors that bear the imprint of the place where you're taking your coffee. When you put money into the local spots, you're helping to maintain the flavor of the region and the charisma of the area's cultures, both of which face major threats if they lose out to the more generic global norm. Lots of worthwhile discussion occurs about the Italian coffee shop. People tell of its remarkable atmosphere and even more exceptional coffee. They pronto speak of finding community in these dens of delightful caffeine, turning conversation as one would in an art studio, around a coffee house in the Renaissance. That is the sort of environment you enter when you walk into an Italian cafe, many of which are privately owned and operated by folks who consider coffee not just a profound creative moment, but a right, if not an obligation, to the prideful history of that little part of the world. Touring Italian locales and nearby sightseeing spots after a coffee break can deliver a double dose of pleasure: contented, caffeinated calm, and the thrill of discovery. Since many Italian museums are a hop, skip, and a post-espresso stumble from their caffeine sources, these time-out continuing education opportunities are effortlessly woven into real local living. Whether exploring a nook of art history, a hypothetical life with the Medicis, or simply a stunning hill view, they are what make life truly Italian. The perfect timing for these coffee shops' cozy experiences changes. If you're looking for a peaceful way to start your morning, it's hard to beat the serenity of an early breakfast, dissolved into a few hours of solid work on a laptop. For some, though, these spaces can seem too still, or worse, too like an office. If it's actual recreation you're after, consider visiting in the afternoons when the fewest number of people show up. At night, coffee shops can seem transformed. Music, dim lighting, and improbably, reduced noise levels make for a cool mix. Although the cafes identified are popular, Italy has more to offer. There are numerous coffee places that do not get much ink, but are worth a visit, because they provide an experience of delightful discovery. Some are run by families and do not have the name recognition of the two major spots, but they survive on charm and quality. Others are more innovative, and with decor and coffee brewing to match the times, they are an inspiration in a different way. Both types give us reasons to go beyond the places we know to visit the ones we do not. Adopting the coffee culture of Italy means doing more than simply enjoying the delicious coffee beverages. It's a way to inhabit the experience of friendship and good conversation, which, for an Italian, often happens at the cafe. And it brings the traveler into contact with a kind of easy, familiar intimacy that's part of the social and national character. Each cafe visit offers the traveler an opportunity to step into what feels for us like the heart of Italy.